especially the three-point shooting that you guys didn't hit the shots that you needed to hit.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel the team played overall for over the course of mostly 40 minutes?
I mean, I feel like we were right there the entire game. We should make a couple threes, we make a couple bunnies, and we probably have the lead going into that last media timeout. So, I mean, I felt like we played well. The toughness was there, the fight was there. We were getting on the ground, diving for loose balls. I felt defensively we were doing a pretty good job, and they hit their shots tonight, and we couldn't throw it in the ocean.
Tyler, John just said, he feels like kind of some of the swagger, some of the mojo's back as a team. Do you feel like that kind of collectively, and just how can you continue that into basically when you're at home?
I mean, yeah, I feel like the last 2-3 games, even though we've dropped a couple, I feel like we've been right there, and we look a lot like ourselves again. That team that was winning games, scoring the ball, getting stops, getting steals. The last game we had Chucky had 3 steals in a row, and we were running up and down. So I feel like, yeah, we're starting to get that mojo back. If anything, this is a step in the right direction, not the wrong.
Tyler, was it hard to kind of get some momentum in the first half with you guys kind of having to rotate guys in with foul trouble? I mean, you know, Max goes down, Steve's got to come back in. You know, it's just how challenging was that, or did you guys have you learned to play through it because you guys have dealt with that before this year?
I mean, yeah, I think it's just you got to have that next up mentality where you got to give Chris Hodges a lot of credit, you got to give Marcus a lot of credit. Where they get in the game, they're getting a lot of minutes compared to what they usually get, and they did a great job. I feel like for the most part, Marcus ends up with a couple steals, a couple of loose balls, and Hodgie did a pretty good job of just doing the thing that you got to do. Is that you got to keep him out of the paint, you got to make him frustrating, and I feel like he did a pretty good job. So. That next up mentality, I give the guys that were on the bench with foul trouble a lot of credit because they came into that second half without a misstep. They were locked in for the entire first half. They were in everyone's ears talking about the game. And so I feel like, yeah, it was a pretty good job for the situation.
You mentioned Edie. How difficult it is to defend him and keep him off the line. If my math is correct, you guys were 11 to 14 from the line, and he was 11 to 14 from the line today.
I mean, yeah, he's one of the best players in the country. He's tough to stop. Coach Payne does a pretty good job of running things, disguising them. So, yeah, I mean, we knew what we were in for today, and we could have done a better job, but I can't fault the effort.
Just along those lines, you're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. And obviously, you want to be physical. You have to be physical with him, or you're going to dominate. But at the same time, you know, he draws more fouls than anybody in the country. How do you kind of just try and walk that line of, like you said, frustrating him, but at the same time, you know, not live at the free throw line?
I mean, yeah, we have a game plan coming into the game, but we can't have 3 guys sitting on the bench, 3 of our 5 sitting on the bench with foul trouble. So, I mean, yeah, you got to be physical but smart, but we can't leave those guys on the island. As team defense, we got to do a better job of digging the ball out when he puts it on the ground, and then make it harder to get in there. I know Marcus did a good job of kind of being in the gap and stealing one of those entry passes. But I feel like we kind of got spread out, and it was pretty easy for him to get a catch and get it in.
A lot of room to facilitate underneath. I guess is that a product of how he plays off of you, or can you recreate that against other ones that maybe will face guard you a little bit more?
I mean, yeah, I had an idea that he was going to guard me because he has the last few times that we played him. So just being aggressive, looking to attack was my mindset, and yeah, I mean, coming down here, we got a few more weeks left. That's got to be my mindset going in the game.
Did you give him the too small sign after you stepped on him in the second half?
No.
Is that what that was?
No, it was not. It was just pointing at something on the ground.
Tyler, how much was the last 4.5 minutes with him on the bench in the first half of missed opportunity for you guys that you couldn't cut into that lead, or even, you know, that they actually extended the lead a little bit on you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really remember too much about that. It was kind of a blur, but I mean, yeah, when we got him on the bench with an injury or foul trouble, we got to take advantage of it, and I feel like we were getting good shots, I think, for the most part in the first half, and we just couldn't find the bottom of the bucket.
I don't know off the top of my head how many times it's happened in your career, but losing the last game of the regular season, I guess, how does the typical, you know, run to the Big Ten tournament, like how does that usually go? Like how do you respond after a loss to the season?
I mean, I feel like this is a different position than we were in when we lose those games where those games that we've had in the past we were supposed to win, and this is a great Purdue team. I feel like we did a really good job. We were right there for the entire game, and they'd get up 10, we'd cut it back. They'd get up, we'd cut it back. So, I mean, I feel like we're in a really good spot going into the postseason.
Spot mentally? Are you talking about mentally?
Both mentally, physically. I'm feeling healthy. I know a lot of guys, they might be a little dinged up right now, but I mean, we got an off day tomorrow. We got some time to rest and just prepare. So here we go.